Right.
I mean,
go ahead.
I think he needs some. I think instead of the Giants kind of ostracizing him, if they are doing that, I think he needs some help.
As in, what kind of help?
As in, just some comfort, man. You know, like, yo, we know you're frustrated. We got your back. Just continue to ride with us.
Right.
You know, not can you quit making us look bad? You understand what I'm saying?
And the problem that I'm having with it is that the media is making a big deal out of it. But at the end of the day, I guess I understand the sense that he's going to have to understand also that the guys that's playing against him, once they see that you act out in a certain way when you're not getting the ball early in the game or such, that is going to be that's your Achilles heel right there.
Oh, and Josh Norman just blew the lid off of it last year.
Yeah.
He blew the lid off of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people are just going to go, they're going to continue to go at him, whether it's jawing, whatever they say to him out there on the field. They're just going to continue to go at him and continue to get on his nerves. And he has to understand from that perspective, there's nobody out there on that edge that can help you when somebody's jawing in your ear. All right?
Yeah.
You're going to have to control yourself, compose yourself going forward, and just trust in the system. You know? And I know that's hard to say right now, and it's hard to believe, but that's what he's going to have to do.
He's going to have to. And then you get I believe it was the offensive coordinator who basically came out and said that the teams that were trying to get him out of his game, that's not a great game plan. That just shows a weakness on their part. Excuse me.
That's
every team that I've ever been a part of or have ever seen through a scope. And it doesn't matter what sport you're talking about, whether it's soccer and talking about Cristiano Ronaldo being on magazines and trying to look too pretty, or you're talking about basketball, you're talking about baseball, that you take that edge. You take that edge, whatever it is that you can get a player out of their zone, get them out of their comfort level, their comfort zone, whatever it is, you're going to use that. Yeah. Hopefully you don't cross the line and you start talking about someone's mama, but you're going to do what it. Look at KG. Look at KG in basketball. The things that this guy does to get guys out of their game. That's just a part of sports, and you expect that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Next thing. The Carolina Panthers. Yeah. The Carolina Panthers. Okay, this week, and I know that you're going to have something to say about this. Okay. Their cornerback, obviously, he's the only one that gave up the 300 yards to Julio Jones. Ben Wickery, okay. The only guy, I guess, that was on the field. Julio Jones catches 12 receptions, 300 yards. They cut him this week. There was stories about him not being in shape and so on and so forth. Whether they're true or not, who knows?
Well, you can look at the film.
We saw that he tapped out. Julio Jones even had alluded to the fact that he had tapped out. He had tapped his helmet. He had to go to the sideline. So there's some truth to the fact that he wasn't in shape. My problem with this is, if he wasn't in shape and he's been on your roster, your strength and conditioning program now comes into question. Every NFL team has a strength and conditioning program. Why wasn't this brought to someone's attention? This is week 4.
Well, I've mentioned this already, where last week I alluded to the fact that Ron Rivera had ran on this platform of letting the players be the players, letting the players be themselves, and not really taking more of an offhands approach to coaching up the team. Okay. And I've said this coming into this season, it's clearly not working now, and he needs to clamp down on the team and get them to a position, actually jump in and coach. It worked for him last year. Okay. Didn't work in the Super Bowl, obviously, but it worked for him last year. Okay. So going forward, he needs to come in, step in, and tighten things up a bit. And I think this is one of those moves to tighten things up. I mean, you depend on professionals to be professionals. Okay. I understand strength and conditioning coach or whatever, but you're getting paid to come to work and do a job. All right. And you have those bosses who are micromanagers who sit there and micromanage everything you do. All right. You got Chip Kelly out west who wants to know what you eat, how much sleep you getting, how much proteins you get in your diet. Okay. And then you have other guys, obviously like the Panthers, who said, all right, hey, just make sure you come in shape. All right. Ben Wickery didn't do that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him re-added to the roster later if he doesn't get picked up by someone else later on down the line. But I mean, you look at his performance over the last 4 games. The Julio game just exposed everything. Okay, and going forward, you're going to have pretty good wide receivers going forward. Fast wide receivers that can stretch the field, and high-powered offenses. So yeah, I think it was a good move right now to cut him and bring someone up from the practice squad and give them an opportunity.
There's a reason why that player was on the practice squad. Okay. I think this move right here, it sounds a little bit like, but it's not quite totally on that level of Jimmy Johnson. Everyone knows Jimmy Johnson used to love to churn the bottom of his roster.
Who's Jimmy Johnson again?
Jimmy Johnson being the
the
Dallas
analyst.
Cowboy.
Right, the analyst.
The Dallas Cowboy, 2-time winning Super Bowl coach, who was able to churn the bottom of his roster and get guys, and he would send messages. You know, you cut guys.
Let me get my almanac out.
You do certain things to try to fire up the team. So if that is what Carolina was trying to do to hold people accountable, okay, that's good. Here's the problem with that. He's not the only guy that was covering Julio Jones.
No, he wasn't.
Julio Jones had 300 yards on that whole defense.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times where the safety was out of position. And not just that, but then you had times where guys just weren't tackling.
Right.
Okay? So in my opinion, it looks like Carolina's trying to scapegoat this guy. Yeah. Which it's totally their prerogative if that's what they're doing. That's just one thing that I noticed this week from the Carolina Panthers organization. Another good thing, holding Cam out this week and possibly going into next week. That's a great move, especially with the concussion protocol. That is another thing that shows you that I believe the NFL is moving in the right direction. In the future, in the past, you would have guys that went through those type of hits and they would be back out there this week and they would be playing. And Lord knows if they were in their right state of mind or not.
Right.
So I think the NFL is definitely moving to a good position, holding these guys out, because if they can't pass the protocol the week after, it makes you really think about back in the day when guys used to get smacked so hard and would come and they would come out, get the smelling salt, go right back in the game.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see the lingering effects.
Some of the former NFL players there, they still don't like this stuff.
Let me tell you. Hey, look.
But they will when they're 45, 50 years old.
Absolutely.
And they
absolutely. This is so true. It's almost, it has the same effect as boxing, taking all of those punches and things like that. So this is definitely a move in the right direction for the NFL.
Right. Yeah.
With that being said,
yeah.
Absolutely, and who knows how long he's going to be out for? We saw Carson Palmer was out this past week.
That's right.
On Thursday.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a good move for the league. Let's move it on to the NFL week this week coming up with all of the NFL action. What game are you looking forward to?
Well, you got the Giants playing Sunday night. Okay, right. Kind of looking forward to that game. I'm looking forward to seeing if the Philly can come off their bye week and continue their strong run over there in the NFC East. And I don't know, that Atlanta-Denver game. I want to see if that, we've seen what Denver can do to a high-powered offense.
Absolutely.
They can shut them down. So I'm curious to see if Atlanta can game plan for that and try to get something done against Denver. They're playing at Mile High. So, right. Julio, obviously they're coming off of a huge game against Carolina. And you wonder if there's going to be a letdown effect. I don't necessarily know if it will or not. It can look like that with Denver's defense. Denver's defense can make you look like there's a letdown effect. I don't necessarily know if that'll be true. I wouldn't attribute that to Atlanta. They're a top-notch organization now going forward. They've obviously put the right people in place to build that team up. And so I'm really interested in seeing that game.
Absolutely. I can imagine in this game they're going to try to, of course, get those defensive ends off the ball so fast to get after Matt Ryan, where he's not just going to be able to just drop back and just launch the ball up. You have a defense that's going to try to shut down Julio Jones. They got Aqib Talib out there. He's probably going to shadow Julio Jones everywhere that he goes, probably with a little bit of safety help as well. But I think that Denver should be able to rely on their running game to open up their passing game. Having a rookie like Paxton Lynch start back there, I'm looking for Denver to win this game somewhere in the range of 27-17. Absolutely,
that sounds good. Sounds about right.
You got Denver winning?
I do. I mean, it's at home. It's at home, and they got a strong defense. I have to give them the edge just based off of that.
Good stuff. You got Tom Brady coming back. He's going
to
face
Brady coming back against Cleveland.
Cleveland Browns. Tom Brady
preseason game warm up. Get him back in football shape against the Cleveland Football Browns.
And you know what? Here's the thing. This is game 3 of preseason, because 9 times out of 10, Tom Brady won't be playing into the second half. Okay.
Tom been chilling on the beach. Hanging out with his beautiful wife there, and got back in the gym. Had some pictures of him in the high school gym working out. All right, throwing around the weight, and look, Tom's looking forward to getting back on the field. He might show a little rust. He might. I mean, this guy, he's still a football player. We know what he can do throughout the course of a football season, but I wouldn't be surprised to him showing a little bit of rust starting off. And, we'll see how the game trends down later in the third, fourth quarter.
And look, here's the thing about this game is going to set them up for the way that they play against the Bengals and the way that they're going to be playing against the Steelers, which are their next 2 games after Cleveland. Mm-hmm. So like you said, it's a warm up for the New England Patriots. I expect them to win pretty handily there in Cleveland in this game. I can't even predict the score, because this one could go very ugly, or Cleveland could surprise you and play a close game. But I definitely see the Patriots winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, if Tom comes in on his game, it could get out of hand real fast. Real fast.
Other than that, you got the Eagles playing against the Lions. The Lions is one of those teams that you never know exactly who you're going to get. When you got Matthew Stafford back there, you got the Eagles coming off of a bye. Their defense is playing out of this world. And you got the rookie Carson Wentz looking anything but like a rookie.
Coming off that bye week, maybe put a few more plays in for him.
Possible. Or, sometimes when you're on the roll, you don't want that bye week.
Yeah, that is true.
When you have that chemistry going and everything is rolling in the right direction, you just don't want to be out a week just due to a bye because of that chemistry. Bye weeks
give you a lot of time to think.
Absolutely.
And when
they let you think that you're doing a lot better than what you're doing.
That's right. And when you're playing, well, you tend to overthink things. I mean, that's what these guys are at the coaching levels. These guys they're thinking gurus. That's all they do is think up stuff. So you don't want to get in that situation to where you overthink things and you come out, with a game plan that you think is rock solid and it just doesn't go your way, and then you kind of box yourself in. So, but I think Philly will come out and win this game.
Okay, yeah. Look, I'm right there with you. I think Philly wins this game. Going forth, I think that their defense. I definitely believe in their defense. I think that their defense is going to be able to hold them. Any interceptions, if he does throw them, Carson Wentz. I think this defense is stout enough that they can go back out there and get the ball back for them. So moving on to that, you have the Redskins coming up after this game. So I think this is going to be one of those games where they're able to put Detroit away. I don't think they're going to hang in there with them too long, and the Eagles will be able to get on to Washington undefeated right now. They'll move to 4-0.
Yes, sir. Hey,
absolutely.
You got the Cincinnati Bengals and the Dallas Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott leading the league in rushing, coming in at home.
Yeah, at home
against the Cincinnati Bengals. What do you think about that game?
So there's a couple things. One, I want to just throw this out there. It's one of those things that I guess a lot of folks don't really look at when it comes down to it when you're looking at receiving yards. Okay. Julio Jones just had a 300-yard game. Okay. And he has 488 yards.
Right.
AJ Green didn't have a 300-yard game, and he's 20 yards behind Julio Jones.
Yeah.